Hello, and welcome to the Power Your Advice podcast. The Power Your Advice podcast is designed to bring financial advisors new ideas, why those ideas should be considered, and how to implement them into your business. This podcast is brought to you by Advisorpedia, the best place for advisors to grow their minds and businesses. And now, please join your host, Doug Heikkinen.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. Technology forever changed the world of recruiting in the past 2 years. And now that everything has opened back up as far as travel, advisor movement has become even more competitive. On the other side of that, if you're an advisor looking for a new home, there's so much to consider before making sure you make that move that will affect your future, along with those of your clients. To keep us up with all this, we welcome back Jaime Golden, the president of acquisitions at Kingswood U.S. Welcome back, Jaime.
Thanks, Doug. Nice to talk to you again.
Like I mentioned, it's been over a year since we last talked. Since that time, you've interacted with countless advisors in the search of something new, something better. Has the type of advisor in search of that new home changed much?
Honestly, it hasn't. I think, advisors like investors are sort of just looking for a good value and a good place they can call home. And that's something we've prided ourselves on from the beginning. We really try to construct a place where, guys feel comfortable. Most importantly, obviously, the deals are important. Each aspect of the financials have to make sense. But we find that, if we have a good relationship with our advisors and we're open with them, they're open with us, and it creates a happy environment, which is good for all.
So the reasons they're looking to move have stayed pretty consistent. Are there new issues that have bubbled up that haven't been there before?
There's nothing, obviously with the market being the way it's been over the past month, we'll see what new issues come about. But honestly, prior to that, again, it's really been about service and feeling comfortable about where you are. I mean, not to get off topic, but where a major part of our success has been recruiting guys from much larger places where they lose identity and they lose the ability to connect with people and the company. And it just becomes a very mechanical way of doing business. And, nobody, that doesn't feel good for anybody, no matter what business you're in. And I think we strive to really create a culture where we enjoy working with each other, enjoy helping each other, and creatively trying to give our clients the best returns possible.
Before a rep leaves and makes a commitment to a new home, there are several things they should be investigating. One of those things is becoming operational. Tell us more about that.
So the operational end of the recruiting, they work hand in hand with acquisitions and recruitment. As you know, Val Peters heads our operations here, and we're in the office every day together. And he's a huge part of my success. And I think obviously I'm a big part of his success. And we're constantly staying fluid with operations, because the truth of the matter is every advisor's move is a little bit different, because not every advisor is the same. So we're constantly having to, stay fluid and make adjustments here and there to make sure that a particular advisor has as smooth of a transition as possible. And we try to prepare for that as much as we can. In advance, just to communicate with the advisor and our management to make the best and smoothest possible transition.
It's really hard to identify a culture when you're constrained by the challenges of a search. What are some of the things that a rep can key on to get a sense for the culture in potential landing spots?
Culture is a huge part of what we do, because look, at the end of the day, broker dealers, RIAs, they can become a bit of a commodity. We're offering a service, and so what separates us? I think what separates us is our culture. And like I think I maybe touched on a little bit prior on the previous questions. Myself, Mike Nessum, Val, we've had relationships personally for 25 years, and I think that comes through when other advisors are coming on and sort of poking their heads around to see what's going on. So again, we just want to offer a culture where we're all very focused on growth and winning, and but also most importantly, enjoying each day, that we come into work, because that just makes everything better for everybody. And I know it sounds a little bit silly, but we find it a very important part of the recipe of the success we've been having over the past couple of years.
How should a rep evaluate the BD as a whole? What are the key things they should be keen on, or what are some of the questions you get from reps evaluating you?
So again, these reps are, being in the business and being a rep myself, starting out in the business, they have a very keen sense of reading people. Outside of, once the financial and the business end of it is set and everybody agrees on the numbers, and I hate to keep pounding on the same point, but it really becomes a point of comfortability. And, these guys and girls who are reps who are coming aboard, at the end of the day, like I said, joining a BD is a bit of a commodity. You're going to come here, you're going to house your business here. You have certain technologies that a number of us have. But at the end of the day, you want to feel comfortable where you're at. You want to feel that the people around you are supporting you and helping you grow, and you're contributing to growth as well. And I think that's what they sense from us when they speak to all our management, because our recruiting process is a wide process. It's not just me or my team getting on the phone with these people. We give them access to our chief operations officers. We give them access to our CEOs. We give them access to our head of alternatives. We give them access to insurance. So it's really a group effort. And, my vision is that, speak to as many people in management as you can, so you can make a good decision for yourself and feel comfortable. Because at the end of the day, in order for an advisor to be happy, they're going to want to come to this decision on their own and not feel coerced at all. And I find that's been the best secret for success.
Since we last talked, Kingswood has grown up significantly over the past year. Are you surprised you're seeing so much success?
I'm always surprised to see success. I always go in it, expecting the worst. But honestly, as I've gotten older, I've really managed to alter that way of thinking and have a more positive spin on it. I'm very happy, but yeah, I'm always surprised. I mean, when you look back at sort of what you've done and the amount we've grown and the amount of money we've raised for the BDRIA, it's impressive. But while I'm doing it, I never feel that way.
So during this building phase, it's not only exciting for you as the founders, but it's also exciting for the reps. They get a voice.
Exactly. And you hit the nail on the head. And I say this to the potential recruits as I'm speaking to them all the time. I mean, my job is fairly simple. It's to support them in what they've been doing for the past 20 years. I mean, not that I'm a rocket scientist, but I'm assuming a person who's been in the business 20 years, managing over 50, $100 million, they know what they're doing. And my job is not to recreate the wheel or put any roadblocks into their strategies or their relationships with their clients. My job is really to support and nourish that and figure out how to have that even a bigger, how to support that so they can even grow bigger. And that's, and so I want to hear from them all the time. And we do. We have a constant dialogue with them ongoing.
Mike Nessum and the core group has done an amazing job with the culture in every facet of your business. As you continue to grow, how can you ensure that this culture and the values of this core group are instilled in every person added to continue this run?
That's a great question. And again, it's something I come across every day in my daily job. Because like I said, where my success has come from BDs who have lost their culture because they've gotten too big, you know what I mean? And it just becomes kind of a bureaucracy and a sea of red tape. And that's exactly where we don't want to be. You know what I mean? So what we have to do is we have to be a little strategic and a little conscious of who we bring on. So it goes both ways. We're not just looking to bring on anybody with a couple of $100 million book because they have a couple of $100 million. we're here for the long term and we want to create the best culture possible. So we got to be strategic with our partners and just make sure that as much as, we're trying to get them to like us and see our vision, we need to like them. And if that, and not only like them, but just be able to see their vision. And I think if you keep that consistent and, you're conscious of who you're partnering with, I think the culture will remain the same and it'll run itself, as opposed to imploding.
Where does this go? What are some of the goals for all of you?
I take it one step at a time. all the guys that work for me will tell you I'm always a one step at a time type of guy. I mean, there's so much possibility, and already, like I said, I take a step back and I'm surprised as to where we are. But I'm sort of the type of guy who puts my pants on one leg at a time and see where it goes from there. So I'm open to seeing where it's going. I just want all of our team to continue to do their jobs, continue to enjoy what they're doing, and just enjoy each day as it comes. I try to take the little wins as opposed to taking over the world.
Jaime, thanks so much for joining us. The ride's just beginning.
My pleasure, Doug. Always great to talk to you.
To learn more or talk to somebody on Jaime's team, please visit KingswoodUS.com. Please follow us for all the latest updates on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, all at Advisorpedia. For everybody at Advisorpedia, our producer, Jakey Beard, and the Power Your Advice podcast team, this is Doug Heikkinen.